A story from the Borderlands. A young boy sat and stared at the border, wondering why people fought over it. When he was younger, he believed the border was a sacred line. He'd been taught that his country and its neighbor had been locked in a long-standing war over it. The war claimed countless lives, but as he grew older, he uncovered a different truth. One night, he and his troublemaking friends decided to take action. Fueled by a zealous patriotism they learned in school, they decided to move the border fence further into the neighboring country. They wanted to expand their homeland. They did the deed, but their consciences ached that night. What if they caused a war? But morning came, and nothing happened. It seemed no one had noticed. To their horror, they discovered that cows had been moving the fence back and forth for as long as anyone could remember. Nobody cared. The line's holiness evaporated. It became just an invisible mark. They have different customs, but they love my honey, and that's what's important. When he first stepped across the line, he knew someone was lying. The people were friendly and made good cakes. He discussed these topics at school. Other kids who had been to the other side agreed, but those who hadn't called them traitors. "Why do you call me a traitor?" he'd asked. "The truth is right there." He was confused. Why couldn't he convince them? It seemed once an idea was introduced. Its followers held on to it piously. But children grow and wise up. Only the most ignorant held on to the delusion of an enemy. One day, troubling news crossed the town. A minor skirmish at the border, they said. At first, it was just a stray bullet. But the news began to explode with salacious details. But the truth was different. The truth could be obtained from Mr. Harris, the guard who lived next door. He said no one knew what happened, only that a round had been fired into the air. Yet everyone insisted he was hiding the whole truth. A festering tension filled the air. Uniformed soldiers poured into his town, full of excitement. They spoke of new toys they wanted to try on the enemy. The boy stood before them and declared, "This is wrong." They brushed the boy aside as a foolish boy. On the other side, the boy saw soldiers amassing. On both sides, everything was grinding toward a showdown. The boy wanted to shout for them to stop. His father yanked him and took him out of town. "People may die," he struggled. "Those are brainwashed people, son," his father said. Then a hideous explosion filled the air, full of anger and spite. He was terrified. More explosions came. None of those fighting knew the truth he knew, and they were beyond saving. "One day we will come back," his father promised. Months later, they returned. All was chaos. But the border stood proudly. The boy wondered, was all of this necessary? His father smiled. "The cakes across the border are amazing." The boy asked, would they forgive us? His father told him to follow. They reached the border where a few men were standing. "Do you have honey?" they asked. "Do you have cake?" His father replied joyfully. Both sides smiled. There is still hope for humanity. What do you think? Does a line really define our humanity? Join us as we explore the complex cases of our history. Subscribe for more. Yours, the Counselor SFTG. Thank you for watching.